this, everyone, just so we can all reference it later on. Yeah, any questions? Cool. All right, so what the point of today's session is just to make sure we get any questions out there for me to answer. So it's been about a month since we performed our training on the mobile app to make sure everyone had a good understanding of how to utilize the platform. I reached out to all of you this late last week, this week, shot out some of you some text messages today, and we got some good questions. I think that we can review today, but if you didn't have a chance to respond or reply to me, we're actually going to leave it open for a live Q&A session also towards the end of this. So yeah, feel free to, if things come up as I'm showing things, feel free to ask a question, interrupt me, pause, and we'll make sure to cover that. But then I also am going to cover some tips and tricks just based off what I know your team's currently using Fieldwire for. Some things that maybe will help you just understand how to use it a little bit better, get more people onboarded onto the platform. So yeah, that's today's agenda. So first thing we'll cover is everyone's questions that we got asked. So we got 3 good questions. I think first one was, I want access to Fieldwire on my laptop. Put 2 in there. So just so everyone's clear, I know a lot of you, we did go through the mobile training, but if some of you do have laptops that you're able to access data and information on, the easiest way to access Fieldwire is to actually go to whatever web browser you're using. So that is, here I'm using, you can see my screen here, I'm using Chrome as an example. And all you have to do is go into fieldwire.com. And then it'll actually, I'm already logged in, but what it'll do is pop up and say, hey, do you need to log in? And then in the top right-hand corner, you'll actually be able to log in with your credentials. As long as you know your email and password, you can go in here to log in. And then through that, you'll actually be able, it's not going to ask me for my credentials because I'm already logged in, but that's how you'll get in here. And then you'll have access to all your projects that you can see on your mobile device. You'll just have a bigger screen to digest all that data and information. How many of you I guess, Christian, maybe you can answer this for everyone, but how many of them are actually going to be utilizing Fieldwire on their computer, you would say?
I would say almost everybody on this call will probably utilize both platforms for one reason or another.
Perfect. Okay. So yeah, it's important for you to know if you don't have to download an application. All you have to do is go to Microsoft Edge, Chrome, whatever it is you use to get onto any website, and then fieldwire.com, and then you'll be logged in. And this is where you're going to see all your different projects. A little bit different than what you're used to on the mobile tablet where it's all listed. This is actually just little different tiles. So yeah, that's how you'll access the data and information on web or on your computer through your web browser. All right, another one I got was, can I add my own links? So I wasn't sure what this one meant, but when it comes to links to plans, if you're utilizing the plans, I believe everyone is a member on the project. Is that right, Chris? Most people are going to be members on the project?
Probably for this team here, we've been adding most everybody as admins so that they can, they have a little bit more control to assign other people stuff and mark, because I think one of the biggest challenges they can't mark it as completed, or that was one of the hurdles. Aaron might have to
verified. We want the foreman to be able to verify when their guys in the field have finished their tasks.
Right.
Yeah. So if they assign a lead or journeyman to do a task, then that person says, "Yep, I'm done," and then it's up to the foreman to be able to say, "Yep, I personally verified it." And now it moves all the way to the right-hand column.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, and so everyone will have the option to add their own links. Fieldwire does do some auto hyperlinking. So you can see here's a project I'm in. It has a hyperlink on there, but if you ever did need to, say you wanted to add a file from your laptop or from your tablet here, you can actually click that link button and say, all right, well, what do I have? Maybe it's an RFI or some product data sheet you got. you can just click that link icon and it'll allow you to say, hey, do you want to upload a new file that's not in Fieldwire? Most of your files are going to be in Fieldwire that you'll need to utilize. And all you'll do is go in here to existing file. And then you're going to have the list of all the files that are in the files tab of your project. So there you'll be able to search that file, link it onto the plan. For this particular example, I don't have any on here, but I can go in. Here's, a file that's on my device, and I can click on it and say, yep, I want that screenshot to come in. And so now what this is doing is actually posting that. Yeah, go for it.
Can you might need to redo that a little bit more slowly, because at least for me, the internet connection that we have it's not showing what you're doing in like real time. There's a little delay there. So if you could run through that one more time, maybe just a little bit more slowly.
Yeah, and it might be my internet connection too. I've been a little slow today. So yeah, what you're seeing is right here on the right-hand side, if you need to add links. So a lot of people like to reference product data sheets directly on their plans. So what I just went through was actually adding something directly from my computer or from my tablet here onto the plans. You'll see that screenshot there. So to access that, click that link, and then I select with my finger anywhere where I want to drop that on. Click there. It's going to ask me two things. Do you want it to be a new file that's not in the project, or do you want to select one that's already on the project? So if I select existing file, this is actually going to pull up a list of all the files that have been uploaded to Fieldwire. So here I actually have the screenshot I uploaded earlier. I can click on that, and now that file is uploaded to this plan. It's linked on there. But if you did want to upload one from your tablet here, all you have to do is go through that same workflow and then select that option to say new file. Once I click new file, it's going to ask, where do you want to upload from? You can do it directly from your device or, Dropbox, Box, OneDrive, and then select that. And then here's some files that I can upload. So it makes it easy for you to link any document onto a plan. So you always have that accessibility to that document. Yeah. Any questions on that? I hope that's what was being asked there. Cool.
Hey, Bill, do you have a question for us?
No.
Okay. We got a lot of background noise coming from you. So maybe if you could mute unless you have a question.
So once that file is uploaded on there, is it just as easy to delete one? Say you uploaded a wrong file. Is it just as easy to delete it off of the plan?
Yeah, it is. So good question there. All I have to do to delete anything, because you all are admins on a project, you can actually delete any of these links. All I have to do is go in here, select that link. So I'm going to long press on it. If I click it, it'll actually open up that file. So by clicking it, it opens it up. But if I just long press it, hold it down with my finger, say, what do you want to do here? And I either have the option to duplicate it, which that's the opposite of what we want to do, or delete it here. And so once I select delete, it removes that file from that location. Yep, good question. All right.
Hey, Dominic, once they delete that, it's gone forever?
So, yeah, can you, in what context are you asking that, I guess? Yeah.
Well, let's say that somebody accidentally deleted something. Maybe I put that on there and they long clicked on the wrong thing and deleted it. Is it totally gone, or is there a way to go back and refresh from that point?
Oh, I see. So like an edit undo option?
Yes.
There isn't on here, but because I've uploaded that file to the project, it'll still live in the file section.
Okay.
So if I go to the file section over here, it'll still live in there. So you'll see that screenshot. It's in there, still lives there. So you can't delete, when you're in the field, you can't delete files from the project. You can only delete them from that plan.
Perfect.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Any questions on the file linking there? I want to make sure everyone knows also you access information in your file in the files tab as well. So that's just make sure everyone is aware of that. We don't only have plans, we have all your project files with your folder structure that Genco team has set up.
And I just want to add one clarification to that. We are still working with Houston to move all the file folders to where it'll sync automatically in here. So for a period of time, you'll see that you're going to access the majority of your files through OneDrive. But as time goes on, some of those files are going to be on, like plan specs, RFIs, submittals, that type of stuff. You'll only access through Fieldwire, and then things like WBS and your other scoring worksheets and those types of things that you use in Excel and all that, that'll be in OneDrive. So bear with us as time goes on, but we're still testing some of the projects that we've started to set up here with Houston, and we just want to make sure that we don't have flaws and you lose information.
Who's migrating the plans into Fieldwire, Chris?
Right now, we have some of the admins doing that here. So you guys won't have to do anything. So like, let's say, we're on a new job and we get the 100% for construction drawings. We load them in there, and 2 weeks later, ASI 1 comes out. Well, the admins will slip sheet that right into the job for you. And then you guys will be able to see current version, old versions, overlay them like Dominic showed in the last session. And so you guys won't have to worry about that. And if you had to access it like via the file, you would just click on, like on Dominic's screen right here, you would click file, and you'll start to see the jobs with plan specs, RFIs, submittals, that type of stuff. And they'll be laid out in there, but that's still in transition. So right now they're getting uploaded manually outside of this file format, if you will.
And Carrie, on your job, if I can interject on Capstone, since that's a job that's transitioning from FieldLens to Fieldwire, to be able to get those plans uploaded, I need direction on, do you just want the newest plan set, or do you want the revisions?
Well, I need the most latest and greatest. If we're going to upload them, I need them.
Right. Okay. So at this point, I've kind of put it on the PMs and APMs to let us know on those transitional jobs what we're putting in. So I'll get with Ken and have him make sure we're getting the right ones in for you.
Well, on that note though, the direction we got for you, Carrie, was not to put Capstone in there because you guys are using BIM 360 to access the current drawings from the GC directly.
Well, we use Bluebeam direct,
Okay.
but that I can't send that out to everybody.
Okay.
Well, if I had Fieldwire, I could send that out to more than just a certain few people.
Okay.
As far as tasks.
Yeah, let's table that for here, and if that's the way we want to go, it certainly this would be a great platform for you guys to use.
I'll get with you and Ken, Carrie.
All right.
Awesome.
Sounds good. Thanks.
And then one other question we had was just a review on deleting text on plans. So I reviewed that with that markup or that attachment. So if I did, have a markup on here, let's just utilize a highlight option. And maybe we'll do a little square here. So if I wanted to delete any text or markups, I do have the option after I enter something in here, testing this text, post that text onto here. But then once it's added, and maybe I don't want to delete it, maybe this is important stuff, but I want to delete it just to clear it from view. So I wanted to clarify on that. If you have a page that's going to have a lot of attachments, a lot of redlining that's occurring, I don't think you should ever delete it unless it's an absolute need, unless you messed up, because you have the option in the top left-hand corner to filter those markups out of view. So if I filter the markup out of view here and say, let's just remove all layers, you'll notice after I click out of this, in the top left-hand corner, it shows a red eye. So that red eye means that you are filtered and you're seeing everything without any of the markups. So as I'm swiping between, that filter stays on and I'm not seeing any of the markups. If I turn that filter back on, I can actually do it based on the color of the markup. So maybe I'll want to see pink. So So only the pink markups come up there. So just a heads up, that's one thing I wanted to make sure everyone was aware of. If you mess up, yes, delete it. But if you're just trying to remove it from the view so you can see a clean sheet, use that filter option. But then if you did mess up by, it happens all the time, fat fingers, whatever it is, all you have to do is go in here, hold down that markup. So here it shows I've selected testing this text, and I can go in here to delete, or I can go into the details here to actually change that text and say testing this box instead, we'll say. And now I click done, and then now it says testing this box instead. And if I did want to delete, I can click in delete there. So holding down your finger and long pressing gives you that option to delete the markups. It also gives you the option to move them too. You might have noticed if I select this square, shows I selected it. If I wanted to go in to details, oh, whoops, that was the markup. Wrong click, there it is. I can go into move and resize. So this allows me to say, oh, I just needed to square this up a little bit. Let me go in here, grab that corner. You'll notice the magnifying glass comes up. I can get it directly on the crosshair of that room. So just some options there when it comes to the markups of plans. Using that long press lets you edit and move those around.
And Dominic, this is Kevin. Does that feature work the same way after you close out and reopen the program?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Cool.
And if you marked it up on your phone or your iPad, Kevin, and then you went back to your office, like let's say you were in the field with the guys and they marked it up on their phone, and then you went back. So like a foreman met with a lead and the lead marked it up. The foreman could go back to the job trailer, go to their laptop, and then immediately see those changes as long as everybody's got an internet connection.
Nice.
Correct. Yeah. So that markup I just made on my tablet, I'm actually on my computer here, and I can go in to that, let's just confirm that. I can go into that, to that plan sheet, and it'll actually show those markups I just made on my tablet. So like Chris said, it's truly cloud connected. So when I do look at it here, I can see, oh yeah, there's the markups they made in the field. So as long as you're connected to Wi-Fi, it's all syncing. So it's a live update for everyone. Yeah, good plug there, Chris. All right, so I want to throw some tips and tricks out there because I know your team is task heavy. So I wanted to show some things that I think your team can utilize and make your life easier when you're looking at those tasks. So the first thing is going to be using the @ symbol. And then after that, we're going to actually talk about moving a task from it being not on a plan to actually putting it directly onto a plan. And then we'll talk about sorting and searching for tasks. So we'll quickly go through these. The first thing we're going to look at is if I'm looking at a task, and let me go to the task tab in my project, and maybe these are all assigned to me. Remember, if it's under my tasks here, you have that option to look at my tasks. So that means those are assigned to you. If it's not assigned to you, but you're receiving notifications on that task, you're considered a task watcher. And that's why you're seeing this watch task. You'll see as I switch between my task and watch task, I can see, oh, these are actually the same. But you'll see in the bottom here, it actually changes what the watch task is. So just a heads up on that, I wanted to give everyone just an understanding of what the differences are. Because as I switch between a watch task and my task, the only difference is you're still going to receive notifications on that task whenever someone updates it with text. The only difference is you're not the assignee if you're a watcher. So to actually get people, and I was talking with Aaron and Chris about this, to get other people being a watcher on this task, all I have to do is go in and use the @ symbol. So this @ symbol, when I click into the bottom left-hand corner, the messaging component, click that messaging bar, you're going to see this @ symbol pop up. So when I use this @ symbol, I'm going to click @, and then I'm going to go in and say, keep it assigned to me. This is Amber, but now I want to actually bring in Bob on here. So there's Bob. I start typing Bob's name. I also have Beth on this project. I want her to start receiving updates. So as I click these people and I use that @ symbol, what this is doing is adding them as what we call a watcher. So they become a watcher on this task, and I post it, and now they will get updates anytime I make a comment, change the status. They're going to get a push notification on their phone or on their tablet that that task has been updated. So wanted to make people aware of that. Any questions on that? Have people actually used that already?
How do you add somebody into there so say they don't exist on the inside the system?
Okay.
Like Carrie wants to add a lead guy that's not on there. Do you have to put all their information in there, or how does that work?
Yeah, good question. It's very easy to add people to your project. So all you have to do is go to the people tab. And then once in the people tab, these are the only 4 people in my project. But all I have to do is hit plus here and then start typing their email address in. So we'll use Chris as an example here. I think this is, oh, I don't have Chris. No, I don't have Chris on here. But if you had specific people, you knew their email address, you could easily add them onto here. I think, Chris, are you K Gelch?
Yep.
Yep. So
Jenco.
Yeah. So I can go in here, add Chris on here, inc.com. And then once I click enter, it'll show Chris there, added him in. And so now Chris is added to my project pending admin approval. Amber's not an admin. You're all admin, so you'll be able to add those people directly to the project. So just clicking that plus button and then typing in someone's email invites them to the project.
Yeah, so just a couple of thoughts on that. Just, put some thought into who you invite. You don't want to invite down to every single apprentice on your job just yet. I mean, maybe in the future we could consider doing that, but invite the people who are going to actually use the system for you. And on individual posts, like, you'll see that we have, individual tasks, you'll see that we have like the lighting supplier on one task, and that's all they can see. So we're controlling that in the background that says you cannot see this whole job. So they can't go in and see your, R5s and change orders and all that. That you just want them to see what pertains to your light fixtures. So they're added to just those single tasks. And like that, on that note, right? So what we touched on right before Ken asked that question, the watchers, that's a real important feature. So you guys are used to being able to assign, 6 people to the post in Field Lens, and this platform, you can only have 1 assignee. So just be really aware of who you're assigning the task to, so that you assign it to the appropriate person, and don't assume that the rest of us automatically see what's going on. Carrie's job is going to have thousands of posts by the time we're done, I would imagine, between the two, just like Optima. Some of you guys have some smaller ones, you may have 100 or 200, but like I'm not seeing everything. So if you assign it to the wrong person and nobody else is aware of it, and you're going, it's been 2 days and nobody's said anything, you might need to revisit who you assigned that to, and then make sure you add those watchers. So like a good for instance would be if you asked Ken for some assistance with something and you wanted the project manager to be aware of it, you would have to add that PM as the watcher so that they also get the notification, right? So it just like if you needed me to see something, you would assign me as a watcher.
And in that same respect, we can assign multiple watchers, correct, Chris?
Correct. Yep.
It's just, it has to be assigned to one person, but we can have as many people as we want as a watcher.
Exactly. Correct. So if you assign your, your lead guy, hey, and install the fixtures in room 1, then you would assign it to them. And then, if you wanted the foreman to be the watcher, then you could put you in there and Ken in there, and so just like what Dominic's showing on the screen right now. Yeah. And then everybody will get those notifications. And then once that person clicks it as complete, then it's up to the foreman to actually mark it as verified.
Yeah. Yeah. So that @ symbol is how you add more people as watchers. One note, just if you're using that @ symbol, right now this is assigned to Amber. That's what these initials show. But if I tag Chris with the @ symbol as the first person in my line, it actually gets reassigned to Chris. So just remember, if you want to keep yourself as the assignee, use the @ symbol to add yourself first, and then you can use the @ symbol to add other people. But because the first person I used that @ symbol on was Chris, it got reassigned to Chris here.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
just note that.
Can you pull up the web browser one more time and just kind of show the same thing? Because it looks a little bit different on there.
Yeah.
And
we'll move over to the web. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go for it, Chris.
If you open that same task.
Yeah, task 5 is the one we were using. So you see it's assigned to Chris here. That update occurred. Pull it up. Assigned to Chris. But then if I look at who's a watcher on it, I can click that drop down to see every single person who's a watcher. So I got the whole team here now as a watcher. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So on our web interface, you actually can see all the watchers on here. If you're signing in through your laptop, you can get updates on that. And you can easily add them just by using that drop down. So I'll take this task for an example. I'm the assignee. There's no other watchers. But if I wanted to add more people as watchers, I can go in here and say, all right, Bob, let's add Bob as a watcher. Let's add Amber. And so you'll see they start to populate on here. So a little bit easier on the computer. But if you want to do it, when you're in the field and like, oh, someone else needs to get into this, use that @ symbol. Yeah. Right. I know we hit time there, Chris. Is it okay to keep going on just showing a couple other tricks here?
Yeah, I think we've got everybody together. If you all have time to hang on, that'd be great if you could. And let's just wrap this up and then open it up to final questions.
Perfect.
Good with that, Dominic?
Yeah, I'm perfect. I'm meeting with Eric after this. So sorry, Eric. I know he's on the call here. So yeah, we'll move in just quickly onto here. Wanted to show everyone just how to add this plan or add this task to a plan. So I know a lot of you will get tasks uploaded through the system. Aaron's put together a good template to get your base tasks up there. But as you create these tasks directly from the task tab, so if I click the button up here, created a new task, defaults to unassigned, we'll just call this testing 4 or testing. So I go back, now I see it's a square. So that square means that it isn't a task associated with a plan just yet. If I wanted to move this onto a plan, maybe it's A301, now you'll notice it becomes a diamond. The reason why it becomes a diamond is because it's associated with the plan. It's not necessarily located on the plan, it's just associated with it. So if you wanted to add this directly onto a plan, you'll go back into your settings or your task attributes, click on the plan here again, and then move directly onto plan. So once I go and click move on plan, what that does is it moves that task. You'll see it shows a little dot there. It moves it into the middle of that plan. So it moves it directly to the center. And then after that, all I have to do is go in here and say, all right, I want to move this around to that corner. So it's really easy to move a task onto a plan. It's just going into those settings on the right-hand side and clicking edit and then saying plan and clicking that. So that's how you do it on mobile. On web, similar feature and interface. We'll just take this task that I added watchers to, go in here, start to say, let's add this directly to A301. Again, it's going to become a diamond. And then after it becomes that diamond, I can say, all right, let me click into this plan and move that task over here on the right-hand side. I show it's associated with the plan. I can actually drag and drop when I'm on my computer, drag and drop it onto a specific location. So very easy to get tasks. If you want to start to push them to plans, very easy to set that up. And the last one, sorting and searching for tasks. So Chris, I think you mentioned Carrie's going to have, thousands of tasks on their project. So wanted to show that because you're going to get pretty involved on your projects and you're going to have the option, say my task, watch tasks, see all the tasks, or just go into the different categories to filter down the view. So I can see, what observations are here. Let's say I want to search the entire project. for all the tasks. Here I have 21. I can use that sort button at the top to say, let's sort it by what the end dates are soon. So I can see it starts to order the tasks and put them under the header based on the due date of that task. I can do a lot of different things here, so just want to make people aware of that. But then I can also go in and start to search. So if I wanted to search, I know test number, let's go 10. I want to search 10. I took my 20 tasks and was able to filter it down to that one individual task. So based on the title, I can actually filter down my task view. So very easy on mobile to search for the data that you're looking for. And then that's the same deal on web as well. So if you're on your computer, you can go in here to the task button or back into the task tab and use the top right-hand corner. There's what we call the filter task option. And this is where if you have thousands of tasks, we know you don't want to see all 1,000 tasks. So go in here to start filtering based on maybe a title, the keyword in a title, what plan it's associated with, who it's assigned to, the different categories. Maybe you only want to see admin or field tasks. You can just filter to see only admin and field tasks to show up. So yeah, those are the main things I wanted to cover with tips and tricks. We'll leave it open for questions now.
Dominic, can you go over that move task to plan again?
Yeah, on web or mobile?
Mobile.
Mobile, all right. So we'll take task 10 here as an example. I'll click into that. Task 10, square means there's no association with a plan. All I'll have to do is click the edit button. And then I can go in here, find the plan field, click on plan, and then it's going to show you all the plans on the project. So I know, let's just say A301. Now that I clicked A301, it makes it a diamond. So that means it's associated with the plan. It's not directly on the plan just yet. So if I click back into plan here, now it gives me the option, because it's associated with this plan, to say, well, do you want to move it directly on the plan? I say yes, click there.
Okay.
And then now it shows up in the middle. And then once it's in the middle, you use your little navigate button here to move it to the right location. So maybe I want to move it directly to that corner there. And now if I close out of this, it actually shows, it moved over a little bit. It's not directly in the center anymore.
Got it.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, any other questions?
I just want to say that moving that task to the plan, you can assign a team member a color so that when he opens it up, he can see that he has a pin or a task associated with his color in an area that you need him to work in. How's that?
Yeah, so you're talking about, Ralph, there, the different colors of the tasks here, like these, like these different colors.
Oh, so
yeah, go for it.
Can I can change the color of that, can't I? Of the, not a pin, but a task?
So you won't change the color. The only thing that changes these colors is the status. So if I were to switch the status of this, that's what changes the color, not necessarily who it's assigned to.
Right.
Gotcha.
And we've, just so you know, to keep consistent, remember Dominic's teaching us Fieldwire general practices, and then we're working on Jenco specific. And so we've kind of we're working hand in hand with Dominic to get the priority list, which is what you guys are seeing in there, priority 1, 2, 3. We're starting to mirror that to what you guys are already used to. So it's open, unassigned, observations, completed and verified, which is right there.
Pin drop. Can pin drops be the color change?
Those will, the pin drops won't be color changed. They're only going to be this will show that it's a pin. And then, yeah, you'll have the square and diamond. So that's the only time those icons ever change.
I'm sorry, if you go back to your tools on the screen, where you have the little arrow up, so you can put the arrow up and you have tools, and at the top of the tool list, you have a pin drop. You can create your pin. Moving.
Yeah. Yeah, like
those
that.
Pins, I can change the color of those pins and then just create a task under a pin.
so these color, you're saying the color of the pin, you don't have the only way the color of the pin actually changes is through the status.
Well, no, I kind of moved past the status, and I went over to just the that lower on your mobile, the lower right hand corner,
Mm-hmm.
the little arrow up, arrow down, so you can bring the tools up. Your little ruler, your pen.
Mm-hmm.
On there, you can change the color of the pin. Right. So if I click on pin, I can pick a color.
Oh, yes. For here, yeah, you can choose, what color you want to use for your pen. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're asking? Yeah.
Yeah, and
Okay.
we did a lot of that in the original training. If any of you guys have questions on that, you can watch that video. I sent you all the link. And so that way you can highlight areas that are done, not done, assigned to somebody. And then that, like what he just had on the screen, that purpley color that says private, that is only highlights that you can see yourself.
Yeah.
And so if you wanted to say, hey, we're going to highlight everything in green that we've accomplished today or this week. And then, you say, hey, next week we're going to do everything highlighted in yellow, something like that. You can do all that stuff.
Yeah.
So like if you wanted to highlight your one lines based on completed, not complete, so that you don't lose track of where you are, that's a great tool to do that with. And like he's doing on this architectural elevation right here with that, green in the middle, you might associate that with something else entirely. You could assign a task right there, highlight it, and then put a task right there.
Correct.
So a lot of cool features and functions.
Yeah.
That doesn't change the logo.
All right, I know we're cutting into Eric's time here for CE. Anybody have any other questions?
Right. Cool. So Chris and Aaron, I'll send this over to you, the recording.
Yep, sounds good. And then for the rest of the team here, I'll get you the link once it's all uploaded, and you can watch it if you have any questions.
Cool. Good stuff.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you all.
All right, bye.
Thank you, guys.
Good evening.
All right. You need me to hang out, Dominic?
Yeah, I'm gonna just end it for everyone, just because someone's straggling. I'll close it and then I'll restart one with Eric.
Perfect. Sounds good. We'll talk to y'all later. See ya.
Bye.